Synthesis. What does that mean? It means blending together of things. If you think of synthetic motor oil, it's a man-made motor oil that's a blend of different things. Synthetic fabric, it's a blend of different fibers, cotton, rayon, whatever. When you write a research paper, you're blending together the information from your different sources, okay? You've got to have at least 4 sources, and you're blending that information together to make your paper. So that's why it's called synthesis. And this is why it's so important to put those parentheses at the end of each note as you're taking notes, so that when you do the synthesis, you'll always remember who said what. Let's take a look at the most efficient way to take notes. Here we have the subject heading, childhood, paraphrase, 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 meaning you read the information from the book, you wrote it in your own words, and here's the really important thing, the in-text citation, the parentheses that tells the author's last name and what page number it was. Since this was a book, it has page numbers. If it was a website, we wouldn't have to worry about page numbers. So here we have a full page of notes from this book written by Smith. Childhood, information, Smith, page 22. Childhood, information. Now this note is a combination of some paraphrased information, and then here's a place where the student copied words. You can see the quote marks around the words copied, so that later on she will remember that those words were copied. And then Smith 22. Here we get into information about the education. Paraphrase, paraphrase, paraphrase. Smith 25 to 27. So most students would take their book written by Smith, go through and take notes for everything they want to write down from that source, and then put that source away. And then go on to the next source. This was a website, and the author was Jones. Since it was a website, it doesn't have any page numbers, so we just have the name in the parentheses here. Some information about the childhood, part of it's paraphrased, part of it's copied or quoted. Now, when you're typing your notes, you may feel like it's stupid or a waste of time to write green every single time. But let me show you why that really saves time in the end. Because when you're all done taking your notes, what you're going to do is synthesize, blend together things. So I'm going to take all the information about childhood, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it down here in my document that is my rough draft about this famous person's childhood. Okay, and look at that. The in-text citation, Smith traveled with that information. Okay, now I can say, okay, I think I'm going to put, let's see what Jones said about the childhood. Let's put that next. And I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to paste it there. This means that I can rearrange the notes into any order I want so that it sounds good, and I never will forget which source each bit of information came from, because when I copy, the parentheses is traveling with the information. Okay? I like to think of the parentheses, the in-text citation, as the ankle bracelet on a baby. As soon as a baby's born, the first thing the doctor does is put that ankle bracelet on the baby that has the mother's name, because maybe they've named the baby yet, maybe they haven't. It has the mother's name. Where did you come from? You came from Mrs. Smith, or Mrs. Jones, or Mrs. Green. All right, so it's the same thing with taking your notes. You want that ankle bracelet on every little bit here. So you can say, now I think I'm going to put this down here, actually. I think that would sound better down here, and I can move it here. And I think I want to take this from green, and I think I'm going to move it up here. Okay, I can move things around as much as I want until I like the order and it sounds good. Think how easy it's going to be to create the rough draft of this paragraph now. I'm just going to kind of smooth it as I go. I can take away the subject headings, but I am not going to take away the parentheses. So you do the in-text citations as you're taking notes, and they are already there. Sometimes students will say, oh, I'm all done with my rough draft. I just have to go back and add my in-text documentation. And that always makes me want to cry or scream, because adding them after the fact is really difficult. Okay? So there's my rough draft paragraph. I would just go through and smooth it out, and my parentheses are already in place. That is the efficient way to take notes and synthesize.